Hey family campers, this is the Coleman Instant Up Gold 8P tent set up behind me here today. I am about to show you how to set it up and how to pack it away. Let's get started.
Hit it.
Hey folks, Ben from Snowy's down at Big 4 West Beach Holiday Park today. This is just a stone's throw from the beach over my shoulder here. It's 20 minutes from the city. Chock-a-block full of facilities, something for the whole family, and it's right here in Adelaide's western suburbs. It's an easy getaway. They've given us some space here today to film some products for you, and I've got in front of me the Coleman Instant Up Gold 8P tent. I'm going to show you how to set it up and pack it away just with one person today. Starting with how big it is, this is 119 centimeters long in the bag by 28 centimeters deep and 28 centimeters high, weighs about 23 kilos. Let me unzip the bag, I'll show you what comes inside. So inside the bag for your 8P Gold tent, it all comes secured with a couple of tie straps here. This is the main portion of the tent, which is the inner with the frame all attached together. This other one on the other side here is the fly sheet, obviously goes over the top. You get 3 awning poles with the 8P Gold tent, bag of pegs and some repair tape in there. This is a little doormat to peg down in front of the entrance. And this here is a divider to put in on the inside to create 2 separate sleeping areas. So to set it up, we put this stuff aside and we spread the inner tent out. Now as I'm setting this tent up, I'm doing it by myself, so I do need to make some considerations if there's any wind about. There's a few gusts coming through here today, so I want to make sure at any given time I've got the tent pegged down and I get the guy ropes out as soon as I can. The guy ropes are paramount to making sure this tent has got the structure it needs in windy weather. So to get started, I spread this out and I let the arms fold down to the ground. I just need to make sure that the center hub bit here is facing upwards because that is what's going to create the peak of the tent. So once we've let the arms fall down, before we spread it out too far, we just got to think about the orientation of the tent. I want my door to face that way. So I just found the door here, so I need to just spin the tent around before I pull all the poles out. So from this point, I can invert the knuckles. There's 2 stages to putting this up. The first one is inverting these knuckles. The second one is extending the legs. I'm going to extend the legs after I've got the pegs in place because I don't want the wind to catch the tent and blow it away. Now as we stretch the tent out lengthways, these poles, the 2 on the end, not these side ones, but these 2 on the end also extend. There's a little button that will lock into place here to give the pole its length. So they'll pull out, make sure that silver button locks into place. I should mention too, the ground sheet I'm using here today is a 2.44 meter by 4.88 meter ground sheet. Gives nice coverage for the width. It gives me a little bit at the front, just in my shoes. Now I've got all the pegs in the base, there's 6 pegs in the base. Now we can extend each of these legs, 6 of them, up until the tent stands right upright. At this stage, once again, if there is wind, it can benefit from leaving the windows open to allow the wind to pass through the tent rather than catch the side before we've got those guy ropes in place. That's the inner all set up. I'm going to work to throw the fly over the top now, get those guy ropes in place. In terms of the orientation of the fly, I just got to find the doorway. So we've got the Coleman symbol here and zips that run right to the bottom of the fly and this Velcro strip here. So that's the door that goes to the door at this end of the tent. So I know that that end of the fly needs to stay at this end. So I find the other end and drag it over the top. It's certainly easy to put the fly on with 2 people because it took a little while to wiggle that into place. Now because I've got a few gusts of wind coming through, I'm actually going to take once again some preventative measures and I'm just going to temporarily put a couple of pegs in the guy ropes on this side here just to hold everything in place. Because if the wind picks up now, I've got a big wind break and that could potentially damage the tent. So I've got a couple of guy ropes just temporarily in place there just to give things stability if it catches a gust of wind. Next step is to attach the fly sheet to the frame. So if we come up underneath the fly here at the corner, we've got these Velcro tabs. These go around the frame like this, all part of the stability of the tent. Now there's 3 of those, another one halfway down, another one at the base of the tent, and then a clip that clips to the plastic loop or D-ring at the very bottom. The next thing we need to do is grab a handful of pegs. We've got a heap of pegs to put in around the base. There's 2 at the front for our vestibule, 6 on each side, 3 of each which make up each of these vents here, which allows airflow up underneath. There's a vent inside for that. We've got 1 peg at the rear in the middle, and then we've got 6 guy ropes to put in. Now when we put the guy ropes in, make sure we put them a long way out from the tent. There's no point in pegging a guy rope in really close to the tent here. It doesn't do anything. Put them out as far as you can to give them as much leverage and stability as possible. So that's all the pegs around the base and the 6 guy ropes in, so the tent's nice and stable. Now there is a few other things we can do for setup. Firstly, these windows, so there's two on each side and one at the rear. They're the same configuration. Now these are zipped closed at the moment for full weather protection. You can zip them open or roll them open completely if you wanted. Roll them up here and use these tabs to secure it. Alternatively, we can use the attached guy ropes to peg it out as a small weather protected awning like this over the window. I'm just going to roll them up today to allow light inside the tent. The last thing we could do for setup, there's two more things. Firstly, the awning out the front and then the doormat. So to set the awning up at the front, we'll grab our awning poles. There's 3 extra guy ropes and we need 3 pegs as well and a hammer. Now, there's a longer awning pole and 2 shorter ones. What that allows us to do is create a pegged awning at the front, obviously with the longer one in the center. So we put these together and then we grab our awning out on the base here. Once we've unzipped this, there's 3 brass eyelets, so we can extend this out as a shaded entrance to our tent. Now that's the Instant Up 8P Gold tent pretty much set up. The only thing left are the accessories. So this is our little doormat. There's 6 little peg loops on the side of this. Now we can put this down here if we like, just peg it out as an entrance to the tent. I've used my ground sheet under there, so I've already got a bit of coverage with the ground sheet, but this gives us a bit extra if we like. I'm going to leave that aside for now, but the other thing we can set up if you want to create 2 different sleeping areas inside the tent is this internal divider. So we've got to step inside to show you how that attaches. Inside the tent here, this divider is designed to go across the middle here, so we can create a back sleeping area if you like, a front living area, or 2 different sleeping areas. Now this just attaches with plastic knuckles, I suppose. They go through loops in the top here. We just need to get the orientation right. So we find the zip. The zip goes right to the bottom. So this is going to be our top because the zip doesn't go all the way. At the bottom, the zip finishes right at the very bottom there. So this is our top. This loops through the little loop in the ceiling here. And we do the same thing down the sides. And that has now created a central divider in the middle of our Instant Up Gold 8P tent. Now that's all set up. I did that by myself reasonably easily on a windy day with a bit of consideration. I'll put the same consideration in when I'm taking it down just to make sure the wind doesn't catch it. I'll get started. First thing I want to do is take the awning down and start to take all the pegs out. So I've taken all the pegs out from around the base and closed all the windows down and shut the awnings at the ends. Now just while I'm on pegs, they are pretty thin. The pegs that come with your Instant Up Gold tent can benefit from some upgrades, at least 6 to 10 of them, just to put the guy ropes around the side. Now I've left the guy ropes in for as long as I can as well, just in case a gust of wind comes along and damages the tent. So I've just undone all the Velcro tabs around our poles, 3 on each pole, and I've undone the plastic clips at the bottom, so the fly's now sitting loose over the top. Just try and slide this off, fold it in half as I go. So now I can collapse the inner down. I'm just going to press these silver buttons on each leg. I'm not going to force them down, they'll collapse down by themselves as we go around. So do that on all 6 legs, and the tent should lower down. As I go around, I just need to invert these knuckles. I'm going to pull the pegs out as I go. The wind's died down here now, so I can pull that peg out and push the knuckles in as I go. One other thing I almost forgot is that these top arms, the 4 of them, the 2 diagonal ones at each end, also need to collapse down. So there's a button on each of them that we need to push to collapse in as well. So both sides there. Now we can start gathering the arms into the middle, just making sure these center arms collapse right up as we go. And you do need to hold all these arms up with one hand as you go. You could always benefit from a little bungee strap or something to hold them together. Now as you pull these in, just make sure this fabric sits as flat or as neatly as you can. It's going to make rolling it up back into the bag a whole lot easier. So I'll just pull that out a little bit before I lay it on its sides. Flatten this fabric out and I can roll it up. I can use our straps. I like to tie the centerpiece up individually and then put the fly in first with this on top. I find it's easier to fit it all in separate pieces than it is to roll it up as one big item. And we are all done with the setup and pack away of the Coleman Instant Up 8P Gold Series tent. Did that all by myself, was pretty easy. Certainly would benefit from having an extra set of hands to help me do it. You can grab online at snowies.com.au at lowest prices every day of the year. I hope that was useful. We'll see you next time. Don't click away from this yet, guys. If you thought that video was useful, subscribe to our channel and you'll get all of our latest and greatest information. Got any questions? Let us know in the comments below. Give us a like or check out our other videos like this Instant Up one down here.